moment. Let me think about this. Oh well. So, before we get into the stream, I wanted to show everyone some childhood nostalgia that I had. Oh, there isn't. Oh well. And that is with Swords and Souls. This is Never Seen, I think. No, that's Opera. That's Steam. Yes, this is Never Seen. One moment. Let me also get Twitch Studio back. So, there. And, yeah, I bet you understand which one I'm so excited to play again. Oh gosh. But yeah, that was like a big part of my childhood nostalgia. Not that big, but going back to it after so long is very, very nice, I guess. Let's see. Pickpocket. Oh. Super is 30% chance. Duration is 4 turns. Huh? Oh, that's basically like a critical hit, I guess. And then I'll start going for that. But yeah. As you can see in the title, this is a bonus episode. Basically, I don't care. I'm gonna be playing some Minecraft, making some pixel art, sort of, and you all get to sit back and watch me explain some things that, let's see, let me pull up my old scripts. Is that one of them? Cost of Power Chapter 0, yeah, that should also be one. Cost of Power Chapter 1, NPC Perspective, yeah. And then the newest one, Segment 3, Event NPCs. Yeah, those are my old scripts. Got it. It's just taking a bit to load, and then here we are. Let's see. Cost of Power Chapter 1. I'm just going to be reading through it, and when I see something that I maybe didn't fully explain or I left vague, I'm going to go into more detail about it. Okay, let's see. Also, pixel art. Oh, one moment. Slash set. Wait, no. Time. No. Set. One moment. Isn't it like tick freeze? Yeah, the game is frozen. Now I can just go ahead and do all this. And voila, good as new. Except for this side, which I'll go ahead and do. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I already explained everything over here. But yeah. I wanted to do some things with it, first of all. There aren't that many blocks that just have fire in them. Let's see, so that... I just grabbed a random block, I'm not going to use it. There. And then for the other side, black wool and... Yeah, I think black wool and... let's see. Here we are. Black stained glass or tinted glass. Which one looks darker? I'll take this one. Okay. Basically, the thing that I wanted to highlight is that this yin-yang symbol is specifically for the true immortal, which I guess I should talk about right now. That's an unexpected segue, but I'll take it. Basically, how monks work is... They have 5 quote-unquote stages. The first stage is whenever you become a monk, you just get it. And then the second stage is easy, so you'll usually learn it as well. Also, just ignore this. Why are there so many bats? I guess it's at the Y level or something. But yeah. So this is the fire yin-yang, because once you don't need to continue like cultivating or so, you can just I'm gonna do something. Does this look nice? Yeah, I'll keep that. But yeah. Damn it, where was I? Once you reach, like, at any point, you can just specialize into one of the disciplines, which is, discipline of water, discipline of fire, earth, and air, the 4 elements, and become that type of monk, and you don't get to cultivate anymore in order to get to higher stages. The longer you wait before this, the more powerful you'll be, which, in my opinion, is kind of a bad mechanic. So I'm probably going to change that. Let's see. just where is it? Where is it? But yeah, that's how I have it designed currently. Um, hmm. Here's cobblestone. Aha, there it is. Okay, yeah. So let's see. I think this might be uneven. No, no it isn't. Oh well. Let's see. Boom, boom. Boom. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Is there anything that kind of blurs the line between mossy cobble and moss? I guess leaves, but green glaze, terracotta? No, that seems like a pretty bad choice. I bet I could do something interesting with it, though. So that means I have to put it there. Oh wait, no, it cares only about the face I make. If I go over here, I'll put it there. But yeah, depending on how long you wait, how much patience you have. Yeah, no, that's not working. You will get more power when you finally switch and gain your thing. However, it gets progressively harder to do so. For instance, I should probably talk about the other main mechanic. I'll reverse that real fast. To see how it looks. Yeah, okay. I kind of like how that works. Alright. That gets the things down. Next, I'll do stone, because, you know, in a mining game, stone's probably the easiest. Let's see. Natural blocks, I can have sandstone and sand, and endstone probably. I don't think anyone will mind. And then I'll have, let's see, terracotta. But yeah, the main mechanic for the game is that I kind of touched on it in the last thing, but when you die in the game, you don't just like, oh, I respawn and I'm ready to go ahead and kill more people and, you know, do it all over again. No. There is a full, like, system in place to wait a minute. Wait. Why isn't gameplay showing? Dang it, one moment. Gameplay. It should capture everything on screen. Let's see. webcam. No, game capture. Edit. Change entire screen. Full screen application. Okay, save. Yeah, okay, there we go. But yeah, here's what I've made so far. I'm just making the other 4 disciplines. Now that I realize that I haven't been recording this entire time. I hope my voice was entertaining enough for you. But yeah, you don't just respawn. Let's see, terracotta, natural blocks. Yeah, natural blocks. Everything in there should be natural. Yeah. Mud is the final thing, the main thing. Clay. Yeah, there we go. Now, boom, 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 boom. Clay. Sand. And then... Oh, wait. I got confused. Sandstone. Does in-stone look good here? No. I'll put in that little piece of sand. Throw that away. What about chiseled sandstone? Or maybe yellow terracotta? Let's try yellow terracotta. Does this look better? It'll have to work, I guess. But yeah, you don't just respawn. Let me just finish that before I distract myself again. Instead, when an NPC or player give birth to a child, which is another mechanic, there is a 10% chance for it to unfortunately be a stillborn. And if that happens, then any player that is currently waiting to respawn will basically respawn as that child, which is how your resurrection and stuff works. Okay, let's see. There's 4. Now I just need air, which is a bunch of light gray and stuff. Wool. Building blocks. Gold. And then you have to... I don't know if I want a full lifetime for an NPC and a human to be a week or a month. A year is way too extreme because the monk class, in order to get the most powerful version, which is True Immortal, has all the things. You'd need to basically go through 3 years if I had it be, 3 years. Let's see. And then one more. Boom, boom, boom. There. And then the other one was blue and... I'm going to do something that I think is a bit interesting. There we go. And then This will have light blue wool to represent rain. It's supposed to be mist. One moment. Light blue, cyan. There. That's mist, I guess. One moment. Going to swap that around so that this is the mist, and that this is rain or whatever. Oh well. And there are the 4 disciplines. They're the yin-yang, except instead of light and darkness, they're the element as well as the 2 subclasses of them. You can't subclass things like water and fire or earth and air. However, you can subclass them with adjacent things. Alright, now that I've explained that. Basically, 1/3 of your time is spent as a child. Another third is spent as a full adult, and then the last third is spent as an elder before you die. You know, of old age or something like that. True immortals, get the immunity to aging as soon as they get it. Or, they can activate it in their lives or something. But yeah, they're immune to dying through age, which is kind of a handicap because when you die, you don't just respawn. You go to, like, the temple of the last hurrah, name pending, because that's terrible. And what happens next, let me think, is you go ahead and test something. I'm not going to build it. It could be like, a test of strength. It's like one of those carnival games where you hit the thing with the hammer and you have to hit a bell. And, depending on how well you do, you get permanent bonuses. And obviously there's a limit, and that limit is your achievements. For instance, if you've gotten, like, let me think. If you've gotten one moment. Let's say you somehow reach S-class. It's not going to be your first life, but you're going to do it one of these days. Maybe just for the laughs or giggles, but yeah. Once you do, you get an achievement. Depending on what achievement you get, for instance, the S-class, you could get a certain amount of this special currency that gives you access to the games. You spend 100 of this currency on each of the games, and even death can give you a achievement depending on how you died, which will give you a certain amount. I should really turn off mob spawning. Never mind. Guess I don't know how to do that. But yeah. So, the monks are very strange. If you... I don't really think I like how this is, because it's not really easy to tell that there's... One moment. What if I have it be reversed? Yeah. Not yellow wool. Yellow terracotta and the natural blocks. Sand. What if I put the sand over here? Oh yeah, the tick's gone. And then put the terracotta there. That looks slightly better. Alright. But yeah. I'm gonna have to rework the monks a bit. Because their main thing is having basically a combo lock. They attack a person, and that a person is barely stunned by each of their attacks, to the point where the monk completely decimates them over a course of a small while. The problem is that they have what is called the third party rule. Basically, all it is just stating that once they're locking onto a person, they're the first party, the victim is the second party, but if an ally of the second party comes, they are the third party, and they have the ability to basically win after that, because the monk can't really do anything. They have very terrible AoE attacks. Some of them might do like no damage at all, but have but like stun a group, allowing them to escape easier. The only thing that I think is good for groups might be poison, which is represented by smoke here. I feel like status ailments could be good for groups. So poison, burn, freezing, vine grapple, sinking in the mud, slowing you down like that. Lightning, instant death. That kind of doesn't really matter how many people you have. Actually, isn't lightning usually considered to be like a chain attack? Like I hit him and then the lightning goes over to him and all those two, as long as they're in a certain range. Oh well. They basically are sucky at anything other than 1v1 or having multiple people. If they have fewer people, it's supposed to be an automatic loss. But if they have a fair fight, as in numbers, then even if the enemy is much more powerful than them, they have the ability to pretty much win easily. That's their gimmick. Okay. Let's see. Alright, let me just get cost of power. The first is a human empire made of wonderful people. Oh yeah, that's something that I wanted to explain. The human empire doesn't count as a class. They give you titles, which are different from a class. And, gets reset once you die. Basically, the titles are like, nobles and things like that. I really want to have, like, something over here, because it's the only thing that has that. Just one solid color, but oh well. Yeah. Oh, and it has invulnerability frames now. Okay. they have titles, which don't count as classes, yada yada. They don't really give you many bonuses, but they give you importance. Like, they give you more diplomatic and political power than actual power. They also give you things like land to manage if you're a noble, a business or trade deals if you're a merchant, and other stuff such as that. But yeah, let's see. Is there anything else? The Wizard Tower. Okay, yeah, that's something I wanted to talk about. However, other than the titles, they do actually have classes. But they're the standard fantasy classes. Fighter, berserker. I have something to say about the berserker, but I won't say it now. And mage, those kinds of deals. Um, they have. Gosh, is there something in my throat? They have those kinds of classes. Your generic. I don't want anything too fancy classes that don't, fit into the other ones. They're basically just the miscellaneous classes. You know. Let's see. The Adventurers Guild, it's the best way early game to get like quests, gold, monies, skills and stats, experience, that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't. Here's the thing. I was going to have the monks, since, yin yang, cycle of life, all of that. I was going to have it so that they, the monks, could get a bonus after the cycle of life and death. Basically, what I was thinking was, once you get one ascension, that ascension is permanent. However, however, um, dang it, I hate when I get distracted like this. That looks terrible, but I don't know how to do anything better, so I'll keep it. I could probably do a pretty interesting design with all of this. Half blocks, kind of. And then, let's see, mangrove planks, red wool. Yeah, that'll be good. Now, let me get this. Boom, boom, boom. Does that look like a shield? Oh well, I'm making it a shield. If it doesn't look like a shield, that doesn't really matter anymore. Alright, now I just need to copy it somehow. Alright, there, there, there. boom, boom, boom. I think, yeah, that was 3 blocks. No, that was way more blocks. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. There. Alright. But yeah. This is the Holy Kingdom's emblem. Or, not the Holy Kingdom, the Human Empire. It's the sword of Excalibur and a red shield behind it. That looks terrible, but I can't do much better, so I'm not going to agonize over it. You're free to. I already talked a bit about the Grand Monks. Oh wait, yeah. I was about to talk to you about their specific thing, which is whenever you die, your experience and everything is kind of reset, unless you're a Grand Monk, which I feel like is playing favorites at that rate, so I'm not gonna do it. Then let's do something simple, like maybe jungle log over here. Just make a fancy little cross, and then book sign. And then this is colored blocks. Where are they? White banner. It's basically just a cross with angel wings. It's the symbol of the Holy Army. And I hope that gives off the idea of a cross with angel wings. Oh well. Even though it looks like a cross that's just holding up laundry, now that I look at it. Oh well. But that brings us into the next faction, which is the Holy Army, filled with friendly and caring people, mostly faithful priests and hunters, vampire, werewolf, undead, etc. Some things to do or claim land for the sake of God. Basically, I don't know if I wanted it to be this. However, once all of the cults, all cult things, are off of the map, there is an event where the Holy Army gets to invade the gates of hell, and the cultists have to kind of stop it as they descend layer by layer by layer through hell. But yeah, let's see. Is there anything that I need to talk about? Mostly faithful priests, they're basically healers. Most of the people in here have many support things. Faithful priests, while they are wizards and can use like holy-based attacks, they're mostly buffing people. Hunters, they have the ability to... I'm pretty sure I talked about this. Every class has 3 different sub parts of it where you can specialize into the warrior, which is strength and defense, physical stats like that. The assassin, which is more so More so... Damn it, what is it? More so reflexes and evasion. I think those are the right words. Uh, or at least the best words I can use to describe them. Um, let's see. And then paladins would be their warrior faction. They're very strong, very tanky, and they're usually healed and basically an impenetrable wall. Some things to do are claim land for the sake of God, whether peacefully or through force. Storm the underworld. Yeah, I kind of talked about that. Defeat the king of hell. Create a religion to worship you and achieve the power of a demigod. Basically, I don't know if you noticed, however, every class, every faction, in some way, has you start a cult. Whether it's the monks setting up a new monastery in which you're the elder, which gives you the least power from a cult, another way we're trying to balance them, or the human empire, which basically just has a workforce. The nobles just use people to make money, and that's how they're quote unquote making a cult. But the holy people have, like, once you gain enough, like, holy prestige, you can start your own cult to gain the power of a demigod to get more powerful and everything. There are the three main types of demigod. One that lets you gain one of life, one of... What was it? I'm pretty sure they're the demigods of life, which is basically health and healing. They're the warrior class. The one of wisdom, which is the mage class. And then I'm pretty sure the last one was like... Maybe it was... I know it wasn't curses. There's a faction in the Holy Church that take cursed items and slowly uncurse them and turn them into holy items. It was just a fun thing that I thought about, but I didn't really know how to implement, so I don't really know how I'm going to implement it. So, yeah, if you want that, pray. So let's see. They have three things, though. Health, wisdom, and, I guess, I don't know, speed? Reaction? Miracle? Let's see. Basically, they are for people who want to just hang out with friends, find friends. They basically lose almost all of their power and stuff when they're alone because they have so many buffing abilities. They usually require a partner at least. So, for anyone who kind of wants to force themselves into social relationships of some kind, there you go, I guess. Let's see. And then there's the cultists. I make it a point to not really call them a faction because the thing with the cultists are that they are the opposite of the Holy Army. Basically what this means is while the Holy Army has a bunch of buffing abilities, the cultists have nothing. No. they do not have any form of buffing ability. So they are the lone wolf. Their cult can give them slight power, but during the later parts of the game, you usually will use them as like slaves in mining, or you will utilize them as uh, fighters and basically a private army. Those are usually the two things that will you'll be using them for. Let's see. There's so much to do in this wonderful game. Oh yeah, the 8 layers of hell you have access to. There are 9 layers of hell. However, the 9th layer, the one in the center, is the castle of brimstone or whatever. Basically, it is the devil's castle. So, yeah. You can't go in there. The other 8 are let's see. 8 layers of hell you have access to and become recognized by an overlord. Basically, they're second in command just behind the 7 deadly sins. Funnily enough, there are 7 deadly sins and 7 overlords, despite having 8 layers of hell. This is because everyone is terrified of wrath, so they basically avoid them. But speaking of wrath, let's see. Complete the missions of the Overlord to grow your power and influence. Win in the Arena of Pride. I'll get to that. Build a fortress on the Layer of Rage. Basically, the demons on the Layer of Rage are unkillable. Once you kill them, there's a cooldown before they just get back up and start regenerating. They start at 0 health and then regenerate. So if you have people who can only do like a small amount of damage, they can kill them while they're regenerating in order to gain a huge amount of experience. So basically, all that the Layer of Rage is a training ground. The best training ground pretty much in the game. However, you will have to watch out for the fragments of Wrath, because Wrath ripped himself apart in his anger, and now his fragments are spread throughout the Layer of Rage, wreaking havoc like boss battles. So yeah, once you defeat them, you get a fragment of Rage, which is the currency of the area. It's very valuable, because it's the reward for defeating one of the 7 deadly sins, or at least a piece of him. Be recognized by an overlord. Win in the Arena of Pride. The only way to get to the Arena of Pride is to go to the Ring of Wrath, which is very dangerous, and find a warrior from the Ring of Pride who is either fighting or is dead. Once a demon dies on the Layer of Rage, they basically raise like a zombie as a new wrath demon. Then, if you defeat one of these wrath demons or just loot them before they get back up, the ones that are from the Layer of Pride, you will get a trophy or an item that can be used to either one-time consumable teleport you to the Ring of Pride, or later on, once you unlock wormholes and portals and higher grade transportation options, you can set up a permanent teleportation device to the Ring of Pride. And the Ring of Pride is basically you yourself cannot enter. Instead, you have to take one of your demons and raise them up and make them like this battle-hardened warrior in order for them to go into the arena of pride. And yeah, basically, one moment, let me collect my thoughts, damn it. After they will spar in a gladiatorial combat between one-on-one battles. And the more that they win, the higher your rewards will be. And after you go back and go back home from the arena of pride or collect your rewards, you will be sent back to your base or something immediately, which is somewhat annoying if you have to, collect go through hell literally and figuratively to get there. But yeah. I do not know really where it falls in terms of location, cuz here's the thing. All of the layers of hell are stacked on top of each other. It's like the Nether from Minecraft. There is the area you can explore, but there's also something underneath you that you can't get to, and something above you that you also can't get to. Even though in Minecraft it's bedrock, in the cost of power, it's just another layer. Technically, if you dig down far enough, you'll just fall into the next layer, which is funny. But yeah, each layer downward gets smaller and smaller, representing the fact that, they're spheres within spheres within spheres. So then, let's see. The arena of pride, the layer of rage. Create a demon blood harvester in gluttony, not the layer of gluttony, gluttony himself. So, in the lore, there are two stories. One is that there were originally 8 layers of hell. The one the king of hell resided in, and the other 2, and then the other 7 for the 7 deadly sins. However, then Wrath appeared and basically went insane. It is unknown why, but he kind of just lost it one day, turned into a giant monster, and ripped himself apart, turning everything on the layer of rage at the time into an unforgiving wasteland. Even the sun and the moon were stuck in an infinite hateful clash, to the point where if the sun and moon appear, you'll basically be fried because of the environmental hazard, which is just a thing of luck. So have fun with that. But yeah. Gluttony, then, seeing this, felt all of his, brothers and sisters, the other 7 deadly sins, which, okay, the 7 deadly sins are the direct lineage of the king of hell, Satan, all that. So I'm just going to say that right now. And then he descended from his lair and made the another layer, became another layer of hell in order to allow there to be an extra layer of defense in case rage broke through it, which is seemingly impossible because the layer of rage is an ultra dense super material. It is, if you can figure out how to harvest it, one of the most powerful materials in the game. So, it's not going to get broken anytime soon, at the very least. Unless you make a hole, in which case, you're probably going to have a bounty on your head. But yeah, let's see. Create a demon blood harvester inside of Gluttony. So yeah, that makes a lot more sense once you realize the story behind it. Because, Gluttony is his own lair, his own ecosystem. So, that's fun. Let your army relieve themselves in the lust layer. Yeah, the lust layer is basically just the layer of brothel. Which, yeah. Also, fun note, all female demons are lust demons, and vice versa. So that's just a fun little fact. Also on the lust layer. You can join in on the fun of the lust layer. That's just an interesting thing. This game's already going to be rated R, so, why not add that in? Find the unique currency on each layer and bring them to the layer of greed to spend it, which, is very nice. Gain the let's see. A blood demon harvester means probably demon blood is going to be the main currency of the gluttony layer. I already talked about the layer of rage and how its currency was basically just a caked in mana stone from Wrath himself. Then there is the Arena of Pride, in which case medals and trophies are probably the currency. I don't know what the lust layer is going to be, but I'm pretty sure you can figure that one out eventually. Find the unique currency on each layer. Greed is probably just going to be gold, just in general. Build a base on the layer of sloth. Basically, the layer of sloth's only real problem is that anything on the layer falls asleep. That's the main ability of the sloth demon, the 7 deadly sin. Some demons are immune to it, but not all of them. The overlord of the sloth layer is immune to it. He is a giant ferret that acts as Sloth's pillow, which I liked as a neat touch. The 8th ownerless layer, which, after all the 7 deadly sins kind of moved one layer away from Wrath out here, there is now an ownerless layer, which doesn't have a 7 deadly sin member, so that's fun. Or become a noble on the layer of envy, which, yay, politics. I could talk more about demons, but then we'd be here all day, and we're already an hour in, and we only gotten through chapter 0. So let's continue. Next thing. Cost of Power, Chapter 1, NPC Perspective. I don't actually think this is going to be that hard. I could probably put in the stuff I missed about this because it was too long. I had to remove some stuff. I could probably put this in the description of this episode to make up for it, but oh well. This wonderful world. the segment 1, blasphemy against the Holy Army, a living doll, lich. There isn't much to talk about on this one. I don't think. Maybe? I guess I could talk about that. It's mostly lore stuff, and then there's the monk students at the end, which is just kind of a fun little thing. But yeah. Then there's segment 3 is event NPCs, segment 4 your role / possible endings, segment 5 secret NPCs. Yeah. So let's get rid of that. Go on to segment 3, event NPCs. My grandmother, who is my fact checker and script management, kind of, didn't know what an NPC meant. So she made me say event non-player characters, NPCs, normally appear during events, instead of just event NPCs normally appear during events. They are normally very strong, but in some cases they have a specialized role or function. Example is the Easter egg event, where there are sneaky Easter bunnies that make eggs. Yeah. Since Christmas is just around the corner, it happened I'm pretty sure this Monday or maybe Tuesday. I don't know. Oh well. Saint Nick. I guess I should talk about the skills. Basically, since it talks about deconstruct here, so I'll just talk about some of the skills. Each skill has 10 levels. Basically, each level increases its damage, its effectiveness, how much MP it costs, normally stuff like that. However, deconstruct things like this just simply have it will deconstruct materials up to a certain amount of gold cost. But deconstruct master, the skill that this event will give you, basically just lets you get everything back from it. Nothing really serious. No side effects. No catches. I think I've said all the words I can about that. So, yeah, that is... I don't think I really have much else to say about that. St. Nicholas is unreachable during this event. Haha, funny. St. Nick turns into Santa Claus for Christmas. The first part is for the players who died too close to the event and are still children. This is the part where I talked about earlier, where things become where this is what prompted me to explain the respawn mechanics in the game. There we go. The prizes you can obtain in 2 parts. Technically it's 3 parts, but meh. The first part is for players who died close to the event and are still children. They're given a small prize depending on karma. This prize is your choice for selected uncommon grade equipment. For the players who take part in the event, they gain a small amount of gold for each sold item. It is less than any other store when you sell it, but you can sell anything to him, and there's no limit on how much you can sell. You can get more, and as you sell stuff, you get more points towards the event or something. You gain the Christmas set of armor, rare grade equipment that gives increased healing from all sources. It doubles the healing from all sources, just saying that out loud. As well as the candy cane weapon, which has the consumable weapon template. What this means is that basically The sword has 3 charges, or 2, I guess. Basically, at first, it is like a great sword, this great staff. Depending on what class you are, it'll change to a different weapon. But let's say you're a swordsman. It'll be this great big, great sword. Then you consume one of its charges, regen a bunch of mana and health mid combat. However, it turns into a long sword instead of a great sword. Then you consume it again, and it becomes a normal sword. And after which you consume it one last time, and it becomes a short sword. Theoretically, you could consume it again, and it would become daggers. But yeah, there's also like maybe a whip or something that would let you that when you eat it, it just lessens the range, which would be neat. But yeah, that's the consumable weapon template and what that means. Let's see. The highest tier reward is the Santa sack, which holds 10 times its weight and carries 10 candy cane and creates 10 candy canes per real life hour. But what about the cultist faction? They use leftover armor and weapons for their followers. So how do they participate? Well, Krampus the Unhunted appears and wants the hide of beasts. Basically, pelts and beast skin, things that you normally would get. For instance, you could stockpile up to this event and just max it out almost instantly. Just like with Santa, pretty much. Any beast hide you collect can be sold to Krampus for rewards, like the Frozen Chain set, which is based on the 9 layers of hell from ninth layer of hell from Dante's Inferno. Yeah, it slows you down by 50%, halving your speed, but gives the user high resistance to most debuffs, basically negating all but a select few, which can be very nice, especially with cursed equipment, which basically they have a bad effect and a good effect. And if that bad effect is you get like the poison debuff, then this is actually really good armor for them, because it lets them get the good effect without the bad effect. The Devil's Whip, which attacks every 2 seconds and has a stunning effect that lasts for 1.5 seconds, which is actually very nice for like having 2 people around. It has a secondary effect that I didn't mention. If you can attack them in between these 2 seconds, they actually get reset back to 1.5 seconds, and an additional 0.5 seconds is added to the timer. The highest tier reward is the Krampus sack. It also has like its own Punishers set, which increases attack speed of the whip by twice as much. So you don't need anyone else, you just need the set, which restricts you, but eh. The highest tier reward is the Krampus sack, which is just the same as the Santa sack, but gains 1 slave child every day. Because Krampus, Krampus items can't be given to players with good karma, and the same is true with bad karma. And the Santa gear, if someone tries to get the wrong one, they get the other. Lastly, fear the woods, there might be something abominable out there. This is just hinting at the event monsters, which there are 3. There's Evil Gingerbread Man, the Gingerbread Bandits, then there are Evil Snowmen, and then there's the Abominable Snowman, aka the Yeti, which gives you good draw. They give you good drops, basically. The Yeti, however, gives you the event dungeon key, which basically lets you make a dungeon of the event so that you can have the event all year round instead of just in Christmas. I don't know if it kind of defeats the purpose of the event, but basically it's just so that you can farm some of the event drops. Other than the event-specific drops. So yeah. You'll see why that's broken during the Easter event, but oh well. If someone tries to get a Santa sack, but they can't because they have lower karma, they get the Krampus sack, which, personally, the Krampus sack gives you a slave child every in real life day. However, if the lifespan of a person is like 1 month or 1 week, that isn't actually as big and significant as you might think of it to be. Unless I add the curse that I'm thinking of, that's basically the slave curse. It makes them completely subordinate to you, but at the same time, it hinders all of their growth in every aspect. For instance, age, they can't age up, they can't gain strength, they can't improve their skills, those kinds of things. You could also feed the children to the demon eggs in order to increase your demon forces, which I'll talk about that later. But if you buy anything from anyone, let's see. I think that's almost everything. The Christmas set and the candy cane weapon is not very specific because it's depending on your class, it changes. For instance, if you're a priest, it'll change into like a staff and some robes. Whereas if you're a berserker, it'll turn into like a great axe and light armor. But yeah. Personally, the candy canes, I'm pretty sure they just are kind of like consumable weapons. Basically, you can eat them once, gaining a small amount of health and HP back, and then they become like throwing knives. However, they're twice as powerful as regular throwing knives, which is a very nice damage output thing if you use throwing knives. But I'll talk about the Gluttony Mage and how it utilizes those aspects later. Let's see. That's segment 3, and that's all I have to talk about in those segments. And no one's here to ask questions. I'll just say a couple more things that I wanted to talk about. First of all, explosions are overpowered in this game by design. The main thing that holds them back is their price and difficulty to manufacture. Because if you make an explosive workshop, then they're going to store some, blast powder and stuff on hand. So as soon as someone makes a mistake, oops, I exploded, and so did all the other explosives in the shop, in the workshop. So, yeah, everyone in there is dead because of all the explosions that are overpowered still, and you lose a lot of resources. And it doesn't even matter if you yourself are good at them, because that just means you'll have to grind out for them, which is kind of what the Gluttony Mage does. Fine, I'll talk about it. The Gluttony Mage is specifically a class that uses a technique called... Where is it? Let me think. Let me see. I'll just turn off this to see if it's this one.
Our protagonist was a hardcore gamer that sacrificed every other aspect of his life to become the very best gamer in a really popular game.
I'm just looking at...
Just like every single one of those dungeons, specialty store see our protagonist ordering a bunch of detoxify, dispel, recovery high potions plus plus. The shop owner was really puzzled by Sekir's request,
One
telling him that
moment.
the protagonist had 130 of them. All of those bottles cost him around find it, as he had a foolproof plan on how to use them to his benefit. He took all owner
Alright,
that
what
was
is
known
it?
as DQ in older games.
DQ. There's a cheating way of earning status experience. It was formerly called DQ tactic in Mobin. That's probably just a different game. Oh well. Basically, you use a bunch of consumable items in order to like increase your mana and increase your damage output, which is very powerful. However, it has a cap because you can't really increase the damage of consumable items unless you have base like some sort of class around it. So you're probably wondering why it's called Gluttony Mage. And that's because in the cultist faction, oh gosh. Let's see. In the cultist faction, you can dabble into one of the 7 deadly sins. I'm just going to lay it down flat. Let's see, there's 1. There's 2. Here's 3. Get rid of this. Is that right? No. It was. No, it's one higher. Oh goodness. They can dabble into each of the 7 deadly sins. That is 5. Just need 2 more. There. Basically, they can dabble in gluttony, lust, wrath, pride, greed, and sloth. All of them. And they basically have a skill tree where they can dabble into all of them at once. Basically, the thing is, with the cultist faction, I fully intend for people to be able to max all of them out to get all of it, because they're supposed to be solo player. It's literally the solo player play style as a faction, with quotation marks around the word faction. So for instance, the Gluttony Mage, will use most of its followers to gain things like, potions, foodstuffs, and other consumable items like throwing knives and stuff like that. Lust utilizes its bloodline in specific ways. For instance, they can create stronger warriors that are more loyal to them simply because curses and stuff. Then if you combined, like, let's say you combined lust and gluttony, you have the ability to, like, eat your own children to gain their stats and stuff like that. If you think that's really disgusting, we're talking about demons in the pits of hell, so I don't think you should be too surprised. Yeah. Then there's, sloth, which probably gives you, like, better rest and quicker regeneration, those kinds of things. Skill cooldowns, those. Greed will probably give you more resources, scavenging stuff, that kind of thing. Wrath will give you more damage and damaging effects. Then Envy, I'm pretty sure I forgot to mention it, will give you, I don't know. That's actually a good question. What does envy give you? Because it usually requires some form of catalyst for envy. Because most of the time, envy works like greed. You see someone, they have something you want, and you want it. So, eh? Um, but yeah, that's how cultists work. Demons? I feel like I need to talk about them in chapter 2 when we finally get there. Because here's the thing, everything that I've been talking about has been in chapter 1. I haven't gotten out of chapter 1 NPC perspective, like, at all. Um, so yeah. I guess you could say that this is probably going to be like their insignia, representing of the 7 deadly sins and one core or something. Maybe it represents the devil or something, but oh well. Yeah, that is all of the insignia. There's probably going to be like family crests of this in the empire. Maybe each church will have like different like backgrounds for the cross and things, but they'll most of the time have cross or maybe like the crown of thorns or some form of holy imagery representing God with a different surrounding of their different location, representing the fact that yes, God is here. But yeah. Um is there anything else I need to say before I go? I don't think so. It would be really, really nice if I could ask people, but you know, no one's here. This might be being streaming for an hour and a half, but you know, I can't really complain. Excuse me. I could probably talk a bit more about like locations. For instance, there is a faction of monks for each of the disciplines. There is a headquarters for them. The fire people live in like a volcano place. The water people live in I'm pretty sure I actually talked about this place one moment in was it this one? NPC perspective, the monk student. Yeah, when I wake up, yeah, eat in the temple. Templum Aqua Fluens. I'm pretty sure it means like temple of running water or something. It's Latin. There's a lot of Latin stuff in here. But yeah. It is the temple of water where most monks of the water discipline live. There's also one. There's also a grand temple in the middle of the desert, which has sand and terracotta mainly. They don't really, since they're in the desert, they don't really utilize mud and stuff. Maybe there's like a sub temple that specializes in that specifically, but yeah. Then there's the Wind Temple, which is placed on the highest mountain, known as it's known as a couple things to most people. For instance, the skyscraper, God's spear, um, what's left of Babel, what remains of Babel. There's a bunch of other names, some having more holy significance than others, but yeah. There's the mist, and then there's the lightning. High damage, high evasion, and then if you want to just do water and not specialize, there's the magic side of it, which is ice, mainly, which is, cold debuffs, stuff like that. Oh, wait, no. There's clouds and stuff. Just high evasion, and then I guess the mist would be the magic subtype. It's confusing. For instance, lava and then poison, so that's then fire is so fire is magic, lava is the warrior subtype, and then poison is obviously for the one people. Then mud it would be the mage type, because stone seems more like a warrior to me. And then the sand is, again, the warrior type. No, wait, the evasion type. Each one of these has some form of powder or smoke screen. Snow, mist, smoke, and sand, which are going to be the evasion types. And then the other type is going to be either the mage or the warrior subtype. For instance, ice would be the mage and the plants would be the warrior, or vice versa, for all honesty. But yeah, that's kind of where all of these stand. There are also temples for light and darkness, which are constantly under siege by the holy army, because darkness. But funnily enough, dungeons can just spawn, and if they appear in a monk temple, there's a chance for skeleton monks to spawn. However, after enough time, the skeleton monks will gain some semblance of a personality, and they'll start acting like monks. So they destroy the dungeon core and basically just act like monks. They're just a peaceful faction again. And that's how the dark faction monks come into being. Although you can just take the discipline of darkness, which is called either the demon style or the genocidal style or whatever. But yeah, they gain more. They can increase their cultivation by staying around fresh corpses, is how they operate. Then there's the opposite to that, which is the pacifist light style, which are basically dibs on anyone. If they kill a creature, they cannot cultivate for a week, real lifetime, which, if it's a month, then that's basically that's basically the rest of their life. And if it's a week, then it is their entire life, if they don't end up dying. So yeah, that's fun. Though they do cultivate like 10 times faster if they don't kill anything. So that's nice. One last thing before we reach the 130 mark. Each of the factions gain one thing, and they sacrifice one thing in particular. For the human faction, it's usually sacrificing power for money and political power. For the monks, it's a great sacrifice of time, which is the only thing they sacrifice for spiritual power. And for the Holy Army, it's sacrificing their will, pretty much, to follow God and gain holy power and faith. And for the demons, it's sacrificing each other to gain power and strength. But it's also utilizing their followers and a bunch of other things like that. in order to first open the portal to hell, which is basically the only safe haven for the cultist faction, they have to sacrifice a follower at maximum loyalty, which is one very hard to do for cultists because they basically, by nature of cultivating the dark arts, lose a lot of that emotion. Pretty much. I'll just finish this, I guess. Is how I'd describe it. But yeah. So that is kind of difficult. But yeah. That is I'm pretty sure everything I wanted to talk about. Plus we're also getting pretty long. So I'm going to end it here and I'll see you all tomorrow or next week. Yeah, next Saturday. Hopefully.